let's check out if this is working or not. Editing the title. Alright, sound is working. About to get started here. This is April 2018. No calculator section. Doing a final review here just for the people that are taking the June 5th SAT. Pretty exciting stuff. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer and get into it. 3, 2, 1, let's get it. Alright, according to the system of equations above, what is the value of x? Okay, let's go ahead and multiply this top equation by 2. We're going to get 2x plus 2y equals 42. And then we're going to get x minus 2y equals negative 3, our original bottom equation. And then we can go ahead and add down, right? We're going to use elimination. These are going to go away. We get 3x equals 39. X is equal to 13. Cool. Which of the following is the graph of the equation y equals 3x minus 2 in the xy plane? Alright, so we got a slope of 3, right? This is our slope, and a y-intercept of negative 2. So let's take a look. So it has to intercept the graph at negative 2. This does not, so it's out. This does, so it's technically in. This is out, that's negative 3. And this is out because it's positive 2. So the only answer is B. Alright, which of the following expressions is equivalent to all this? Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and FOIL the answer choices. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute here, FOIL this. So I get x squared plus x plus 9x, and then plus 10 plus, oops, not plus 10, plus 9, plus 20, or plus 12, sorry. Making silly mistakes, plus 12. That's going to go ahead and give me x squared plus 10x plus 21, which is what we're looking for, so the answer is A. Cool. And the xy plane of point A is contained in the graph of the solution set of the system of inequalities above. Which of the following could be the coordinates of point A? Alright, if point A is contained in the graph of the solution set of the system of inequalities, that means that this point has to satisfy both inequalities. So let's go through each point and check it out. Alright, so I'm going to plug in 2 for my x and 1 for my y. Let's see if this works. So I get 1 is greater than or equal to negative 2 times 2 plus 11. That is not true, so A is out. Let's see, 4 is greater than or equal to negative 2. Oops, not 4. Sorry, that should have been A. 1 is greater than or equal to negative 2 times 4 plus 11. So that's negative 8 plus 11. No, B is out. Not true. Let's see 4, 5. So 5 is greater than or equal to negative 2 times 4 plus 11. Ooh, I think, yep, that should be true, right? Because 5 is greater than or equal to 3. So this one works. Now let's check the bottom one. 5 is greater than 3 times 4 minus 9. 12 minus 9 is going to be 3. 5 is greater than 3, so the answer is C because it satisfies both inequalities. Alright, number 5. In the xy plane, line L passes through the points 0, 1 and 1, 4. Which of the following is an equation of line L? Alright, we're going to go ahead and, they tell us it's a line, right? So the equation of a line is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, right? And b is the y-intercept. We can find the slope by using this equation. M is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's going to be our slope formula. And we'll call this point 2 and we'll call this point 1. So then we get we get m is equal to 4 minus 1 over 1 minus 0. That's just going to be equal to 3. So we know our slope is 3. We can cross out A and we can cross out B because those have a slope of 1/3. Now to find our y-intercept, all we have to do is plug in any point on the line into our equation. So currently we have y equals 3x plus some b value. Now if we plug in a point we're given, let's do 0, 1. We get 1, 3 times 0 plus, not equals, plus b. That means we get 1 is equal to b, so the answer is going to be C because it has a value of 1 as our b and 3 as our slope. Cool. What value of x satisfies the equation above? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add over this term, this 2 root x plus 1 to both sides. So I get root x plus 28 is equal to, what's it called? Is equal to 2, oops, that's not what I meant, is equal to 2 root x plus 1. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and square both sides to get rid of those square roots. So I get x plus 28 is equal to 4 times x plus 1. And that's going to be x plus 28 equal to, I'm going to distribute this by the way, 4x plus 4. Then I can go ahead and subtract 4 here. X plus 24 is equal to 4x. Then I'm going to subtract x. 3x is equal to 24. Divide by 3 on both sides. X is equal to 8. Cool. In triangle ABC above, side AC is extended to point D. What is the value of y minus x? Alright. Well, we can find angle. There's an exterior angle theorem you could use here, but I think it's easier just to know. Well, it's not easier, but it makes more sense just to go about it the regular way. So all the angles in a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees, which means that x is equal to 180 minus 105 minus 35. So 180 minus 105 is going to be, let's see, 75 minus 35 would be 40. So x is 40. And then because x and y aren't aligned, x plus y has to equal 180. So if x plus y equals 180 and x is 40, that means 40 plus y has to equal 180 and y equals 140, or option D. In the xy plane, the point 2, 6 lies on the graph of that, where k is a constant. Which of the following point must also lie on the graph? Let's take a look. Let's go ahead and start plugging and chugging. Let's see what we get. So we're going to plug this point into our equation. So we get 6 is equal to k over 2. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So I get 12 equals k. Cool. So then I get that the equation of the line is y equals, y equals 12 over x. Now it says which of the following points must also lie on the graph. Okay, so that means that a point must satisfy this equation right here. So let's go through each point and see which one satisfies it. So 3 is equal to 12 over 1. Not true, so this is out. Let's see what else we got. Oops. Let's see. 4 is equal to 12 over 1. That's not true, so that's out. 3 is equal to 12 over 3. That's out. It's going to be D, because 4 is equal to 12 over 3. Not too bad. Alright, off the bat, I see that we're solving for h, so I'm going to go ahead and cross out all this. I don't need to know it. I don't care. I'm just going to solve for h. I'm going to rewrite the equation given. I'm going to square both sides to get rid of the square root. So I get q squared is equal to 2dk over h. I'm going to multiply by h on both sides. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide by q squared. So h is equal to 2dk over q squared, and that's going to be option C. In the equation above, C is a constant. If the equation has infinitely many solutions, what is the value of C? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and distribute first. So I get 8x minus 2xc, or I'll say 2cx. 2cx minus 2x, and then that's going to equal x. 8x minus 2x, 6x, combining like terms, so we get 6x minus 2cx equals x. I'm going to subtract over the x and add over the 2cx, so I get 5x is equal to 2cx. And then I'm going to divide by x, so these are going to cancel, and I get 5 is equal to 2c. I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides to solve for c, and I get c is equal to 5 halves. Oops, that's ugly, but you get the point. Alright. Problem 11. In 1962, the population of a bird species was 2,000. The population K years after 1962 is 48, and K satisfies the equation above. Okay. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 61 in the context? Well, 61 here is kind of like our slope, right? If this is a line in y equals mx plus b form, kinda. Let's take a look. The population K years after 1962. Ooh. No, that's not true. They tell us the population K years after 1962 was 48, not 62. This is out. The value of K when the population was 48. No, not necessarily. 61 and K are separate entities here, so that doesn't make any sense. The difference between the population in 1962 and the population K years after 1962? Not necessarily, right? Because let's say you had 5 years, it would be a different number than 6 years or 7 years or 8 years, so it couldn't be 61, because 61 is kind of like a constant thing. The average decrease in population per year, I like that. Yeah, that makes sense, right? And you could plug in numbers to kind of verify that, but that is going to be the average decrease in population per year from 1962 to K years after 1962. Alright. 12. The graph of the function f is shown in the xy plane above, where y equals f of x. Which of the following functions could define f? Alright, let's take a look. So we have an x-intercept at 2. We have an x-intercept at -1 and at -3. So if I had to construct an equation on my own, I would go ahead and say that f of x is equal to x plus 3 times x minus 1, x plus 1, squared, times x minus 2 squared. And the reason some of these are squared and the reason some are not is because when you have a polynomial that bounces off the x-axis like this, you have to square the factor because it's a double root. So that's why x plus 2 or x minus 2 is squared, and x plus 1 is squared. But this one just goes through one time. It doesn't bounce off. It just goes through cleanly. So I'm going to leave it as x plus 3, and I'm not going to square it at all. So this is out. Doesn't match up with what I wrote. And this is our answer. Which of the following could be the y-coordinate of a solution to the system of equations above? Okay, looks like we got a circle and a linear equation. I'm going to go ahead and plug in this for y, right? Because they tell us that's equal to y, so we can do that. So let's see. X plus 2 squared plus, and then negative 2x plus 4 squared. Plus 4 minus 3. Don't forget that minus 3 from that was there. Minus 3 squared equals 40. I'm going to go ahead and FOIL all this stuff out. X squared plus, that should be 4x. X squared plus 4x plus 4. And then if we multiply all this together, we're going to get, that's really negative 2x plus 1, right? Because 4 minus 3 is just 1. So then what we're going to go ahead and get, we can close this off with some parentheses, and we're going to add 4x squared, and then, what's it called? Plus, or I'm going to say minus 4x. Minus 4x, and then, plus 1, and then that's going to equal 40. Sorry, I don't know why that took me so long, but anyways, and then we can go ahead and add like terms, so then we get 5x squared, and these 4x's are going to cancel, and then we get plus 5 equals 40. Subtract 5, subtract 5. So I get that 5x squared is equal to 35 divided by 5. Take the square root of both sides to get x by itself, and x is equal to root 7, or option A. Alright, the equation above can be used to model the population in thousands of a certain city 2 years after 2000. According to the model, the population is predicted to increase by 0.5% every n months. What is the value of n? 3. I don't even have to do math to tell you that. And you can plug in numbers to kind of verify that, but the reason I know that works is because, look, if we plug in 3 months for t, we're going to get 3 over 3 as our exponent, which is just 1. So 215 is going to increase by 0.5%. Now if we plug in 6, another 3 months go by, that's going to equal 6 over 3, which is 2. Which means it's going to increase by another. That number that was already increased by 0.5% is going to increase again by 0.5%, and so on and so on. So the answer has got to be 3. All right. Which of the following is an equivalent form of the expression blank? Okay, well, I can go ahead and factor this, FOIL this. So I get 4x squared minus 2 times 2 times negative, oh, not negative, 2 times 2, and then plus 4 minus 2x minus 2. Oh, minus 2x plus 2. Sorry, I forgot to distribute that negative. I don't know why I'm so off today. 4x squared minus 8 plus 4 minus 2x plus 2. Add like terms. So I get 4x squared. And then that should be an x. That should be an x. I'm being very sloppy. Minus 8x minus 2x is minus 10x, and then 4 plus 2 is 6. So then I get 4x squared minus 10x plus 6, and if I factor this out, I get an x and an x, 2x, and then it has to multiply to positive 6, which is going to be minus 3 and minus 2. So 2x minus 2 and 2x minus 3, D is our answer. Alright, in the equation above, what is the value of s when t is equal to 1? Okay, they tell us t is equal to negative 1. Plug it in. 2s minus 1 is equal to 11. Add 1, add 1. 2s is equal to 12, divide by 2, divide by 2, s is 6. What is one possible solution to the equation above? Let's see. Whatever. I guess we can go ahead and FOIL this out. So I get x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 3x minus 5. And then I can go ahead and set this equal to 0, subtract this, add this to both sides. So then I get x squared minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. I can factor that out. We get an x here, and then I'm going to go ahead and say it's, again, negative 3 and negative 2. So x is either 3 or x is 2. I'll go with 2. But either answer would work. In the complex number system, what is the value of the expression blah, blah, blah? Alright, well, what is the value of I to the 4th? The way I like to memorize it is I1, I1. So I get I1, I1, and these two are going to be negative, and this is I to the first power, this is I squared, this is I to the third, and this is I to the 4th. I to the 4th is equal to 1. So 16 times 1 minus, and then I squared is negative 1, plus 4. So 16 plus 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. 16 plus 12 would give me, 16 plus 10 would be 26. So 28. Table above shows two pairs of values for the linear function f. The function can be written in the form f of x equals ax plus b, where a or b are constants. What is the value of a plus b? Okay, so we need to find the slope, or the a value, and remember we can do that with 2 points. Let's call this point 2 and point 1. So we are going to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that's going to be equal to a, or m, but in this case it's a, so I'll leave it like that. So I get 17 minus 12 over 12 minus 8, and that's going to be 5 over 4 for our slope. So y is equal to 5/4 x plus some b value, and we can find that b value by plugging in any point. So I'm going to plug in the first point. Oops, that x should be a 12. So that's going to cancel, so that's going to become 15, right? 5 times 3. If I subtract 15, b is equal to negative 3. Oops. Looks like I made a mistake here. Something went a little wrong. Not sure where though. Sorry about that. Alright, so y2 minus y1, okay. So 17 minus 12 over 12 minus 8. Okay, so that should be 5 over 4. Okay, so y is equal to 5 over 4 x plus b. Let's plug in a point. 12 is equal to 5/4 times 8. I flipped those around. That was my bad. Plus b. That's going to be 10 plus b is equal to 12. So b is 2. But they want the value of a plus b. We said this was a, remember? And this is b. So that's really the same thing as saying 8 over 4 plus 5 over 4. And 8 plus 5 is 13. So 13 over 4. Final answer. Segments OA and OB are radii of the semicircle above. Arc AB has a length 3 pi and OA equals 5. So the radius of the circle is 5, or the semicircle, and then this arc is 3 pi. So for this problem, we need to remember the arc length formula, which is just going to be theta over 360 times 2 pi r. And that's going to equal our arc length. In this case, our arc length, they tell us, is 3 pi. So we can plug that in for L. So 2 pi r. And then theta in this case is this x right here that we're looking for. Let's bring this down. I'm gonna not use x. I'm gonna use parentheses instead of for multiplication, just because we have an x variable. So x over 360, and then I'm gonna cancel out these pi's. And then I'm going to go ahead and say that the radius is equal to 5. They tell us that, right? So that means 360. So 1 over x times 360 times 5 is equal to... oops, not times 5, times 10. Sorry, because it's 2 times 5. So times 10 is equal to 3. And then I can go ahead and say, okay, well... I can multiply by x on both sides, so I get this is equal to 3x, and then I can divide by 3, and I get 1200. Ooh, that doesn't seem right at all. Let me redo that. Man, I'm not on today. Not sure why. Alright, shouldn't be too bad. We can do that. Alright, so theta is going to be our x value. So x over 360 times 2 pi r. In this case, that's 10 pi, right? And then that's going to equal 3 pi. We can cancel out these pi's. So x over 360, 10x over 360 is equal to 3. Okay, multiply by 3 on both sides. So I get 9. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I get 1080. 1080 equals 10x divided by 10. That's going to cancel that, and then 108 is x. So the answer is 108 to that problem. And that should be it for the no calculator section. Thanks so much for watching, you guys.